So you're joining the series on the Titanic Lie, and I've been talking a little bit about the mirror image effect in all of this. And I'd like to go ahead and speak again about that concept, but first I need you to listen to the relationship between the Olympic and the Titanic.
Furnaces. 7 months after her launch, the Olympic was ready. After 2 days of successful sea trials, she finally left Belfast on May the 31st, 1911.
Okay, so I want to use the word departure. Departure. The Olympic is going to depart Belfast, May 31st, 1911. But guess what? Titanic is going to be launched on May 31st, 1911. So in a way you have one leaving and you have one coming. Reminds me of the song, you say hello, I say goodbye. So you're saying goodbye to Olympic from Belfast, May 31st, 1911. But then you're saying hello to Titanic being launched. So one is departing and the other is being launched. Now, it's very simple because all the publicity centers around the Titanic. There's no publicity on Olympic departing. So very easily, one actual vessel plays the role of two. In other words, they said the Olympic departed, but the Olympic could really be the one that's being launched and given the name Titanic because they're absolutely identical in all their statistics.
This was a brilliantly timed publicity exercise that the Titanic herself was finally launched on the same day.
Okay, he said it right there, the same day. Olympic departs. So where's all the publicity? Where's all the people? Oh, but we're going to hear 100,000 came to watch Titanic being launched into the water.
For this occasion, the landward end of the building gantry was decked with one Union Jack and one Stars and Stripes, with a white star pennant in the centre, below which code flags spelled out success.
The whole of Ulster was excited. This was the biggest ship in the world, and they were all excited about the launch. And everybody in the country turned up, and all the ships in the harbour, and there's a great crowd at the launching platforms, and 3 stands were erected round. And I remember the enormous noise. Maroons went off, rockets went off, and signals were given to stand clear. And just as my father said, the chocks were knocked away, and the hydraulic rams gave a gentle push, and I didn't believe it was going to move, and it didn't move for quite a long time. And then I felt suddenly that I was moving backwards. Of course, the ship was moving forward. And it went faster and faster, and it was pulling, they had great tons and tons of anchor chain that were attached to the ship, so that when it started gathering too much speed, and these chains made an enormous row, and they were dragged on, and the ship went into the sea with a tremendous splash, and all the sirens and everybody, and there was great rejoicing. And I felt very proud of this, and proud also that my birthday was the 15th of May, 1905, and the ship's launch was also in May, the 31st of May. So I had a great kinship for that ship.
About 100.
Okay, I might have said 1912, 1911. May 31st, 1911 is the date I'm referring to. And one disappears and the other appears on the same date. So that's how you pull it off with a mirror image.
People watched as, just after noon, the liner, urged on by hydraulic rams, slid backwards into the river Lagan. There was little ceremony, as was the White Star custom. Later, when the Britannic was launched, a retired shipyard worker recalled, "They just builds them and chucks them in." In just 62 seconds, she slid into the water and was brought to a halt by the tons of drag chains attached by cables along her hull.
Now, in one of the other videos, when they talked about the Olympic, they used that same stat. In 62 seconds, the Olympic went into the water. So basically you have just one vessel and you have a reflection. The public picks up on the reflection because that's where the attention is focused.
The following day, June the 1st, her sister ship anchored in the Mersey off Liverpool, the traditional home and port of registration of the White Star Line. It was...
So they keep calling it the sister ship, and that's really a misnomer. Maybe they're doing that because there's male, female in the occult system. The two powers or the two poles, the two forces at work, and they're assigning a female force to Olympic, and most certainly the male force goes to Titanic. And supposedly Titanic, even though all the dimensions are the same, supposedly Titanic has more luxury than Olympic.
Her only visit to the Mersey, for then she headed for Southampton, the line's main port since 1907, where the London and South Western Railway had built a new large dock to accommodate this new class of wonder ship, twice the size of the 20,000-ton liners the port had become used to. The dock...
Okay, so what's going to happen next is that the so-called Olympic is going to get damaged, and it's going to need repairs. So it comes back to Belfast, okay? And then just about the time, the time of the departure of the Titanic, Olympic is back at Belfast. So you see, they're just doing the switcheroo, and they know how to direct the public's attention with the media as to what ship they're highlighting. They don't highlight the Olympic at all. They just very quickly dismiss it and say, "Oh, Titanic sister ship." And the real focus supposedly is on the Titanic. But the sister ship is Titanic. It's just that they present to you a mirror image through use of publicity and media. Therefore, a ghost ship, a non-existent ship, can sink by an iceberg in the Atlantic, and all kinds of fantastic stories can develop because it's just a phantom ship, an image of the Olympic. I'd like to thank you for watching this and the video.